All right. So my guess is that if you're here, you're probably interested in achieving this type of results. And I'm going to show you in this video exactly how I take people through the process to achieve that. We have here Mike, a VP in banking who lost 31 pounds and he got off some medication. Andrew, a recruiter, also off medication, lost a bit of weight. Manuel, he's an IT consultant. A1C down off Ozempic. Actually, Manuel, this is like 51 pounds now. Adrian, chiropractor, lost weight, off insulin. Ray, a sales exec, who lost weight. He's off insulin and metformin. Leon, business owner. Diche, real estate investor. And then Glenn, one of the latest one, business owner who got off metformin and Januvia. Okay, so all these guys are different. And they work with me and they are very happy now. So I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm going to go as fast as possible and hopefully I don't waste your time. Okay. So really what you have to understand is everything I do goes through 3 steps. And the very first step that we have to do, and it's not very sexy, but we have to do it anyway. We have to learn the fundamentals. Okay. The fundamentals around diabetes, around medication and all of that. Okay. So the biggest thing that the first fundamental you have to understand is that diabetes, what you're dealing with is like you're not dealing with the parasite. You're not, it's not like a family curse. Granted, for Indians, for African Americans, for some Asians, it is easier for you to get that for sure. I don't deny that, but it's not a family curse. You can change and you can change it. Diabetes is not something that you have, you don't have. Um, it's not like a switch, it's more like a continuum. I'm going to talk about it in a second. And diabetes is not something you get because you don't exercise. Okay, so like you cannot give me the excuse, oh, I don't exercise. It has nothing to do with exercising. Okay, so the problem with diabetes, really what this is, it's a problem of insulin resistance. Okay, that's it, it's nothing else. And I'm sure like half of you guys already knew that, but the problem with diabetes is insulin resistance. And really what this is, what you have to understand is that it's a continuum. And basically it's not like an overnight thing like, hey, I have diabetes and I don't have it. What this is really is it's a scale. So when you get started with life, you have a lot of insulin sensitivity. Okay, so you don't have diabetes. But as you get older and you do like you eat the wrong stuff and things like that, over time you develop more resistance to insulin. And that's why one day you go to the doctor and the guy is like, hey, your A1C is like 7 or 8, and overnight you become diabetic. But it's not an overnight process, right? It's been developed for many years, and now you're just more resistant than what you should be. Okay, so once you understand that, you can understand that, yeah, as soon as you kind of like reverse that sensitivity, once you become more sensitive, naturally you will need less and less meds. Okay, so the main goal that we're trying to do together, if we work together, is going to be that to reduce your resistance or to increase your sensitivity to insulin. Okay, so that's the first fundamental that I would like you to remember. All right, so the next thing is, let me see, the second fundamental. Okay, so um, the biggest mistake people make is that they focus on the carb. Okay, like it's all about carbs, 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 and that's wrong. And I'm going to show you why. So yes, carb is important, but it's not the only thing. So in your bloodstream at all time, you have to know that you have 5 grams of sugar at all time. Okay, that's 1 teaspoon. So the thing is, when you only focus on carbs, if you, let's say, if you want to do a 50 gram a day carb diet, 50 gram, this is still 10 times the amount of what you have in your blood. Okay, this is 10 times that amount. So you can see that even if you reduce the amount of carbs, you're still like 10 times more than what you can handle. It's just not sustainable. It doesn't make any sense, like you would have to do like 0 gram or like 5 grams. Okay, so you can see that this is not sustainable. The real problem is, again, is that insulin resistance, okay, that we see right here. And when you have insulin resistance, what's happening is the glucose that you eat here is not being stored in your liver. Okay, basically your liver stops taking it. Okay, so what you have is a storage problem. The glycogenesis is not happening properly, meaning the glucose stays in your blood, it doesn't go into your liver. So that's really what's happening. So the first thing, like what I want you to remember here is carbs. Yes, we have to work on that, but it's not the main focus. The focus really is that insulin resistance. Okay, very, very important. So the first step in anything we're going to do is to break that resistance to insulin, to reset your insulin levels so that your liver can process glucose again. So when you send it like 50 grams of carbs, that liver can absorb it. Otherwise, it will never be able to absorb the carb. Okay? We don't want to fight the carbs. We want to use the carbs. Very important. Okay? So this is the second fundamental I want you to understand. Now let me zoom out a little bit. So the third fundamental is, and this is what I see all the time. People, they will do that sometimes, step number one, and they're going to stop here. And then they will just maintain their diabetic lifestyle for the rest of their lives. But it doesn't have to stop here. Once you break that resistance to insulin, the second step is to boost mitochondrial function. Okay, it's a fancy name to say we want to increase glucose utilization. And so in your body, so your body is made of cells, and inside the cell, right here, this small thing right here, this is called mitochondria. Okay, and the mitochondria, this, what it does is it uses the glucose. And so there is a relationship between insulin sensitivity, between fat, between all these other things. But at the end of the day, the mitochondria takes the glucose, so that sugar, it takes that, and it's gonna make energy out of it for you. Okay, so the thing is, if you were not nice to your metabolism for many years, probably these guys, they don't function properly, meaning they don't take the glucose in and out like they're supposed to. Okay, so you have a function problem. That's number one. And the second thing is, um, over time, because you don't do the right stuff, the density of these inside of the cell goes down. So you have less of it. Okay. So look at this as like it's a tiny power plant inside of your cells. So over time, these power plants, they stop working. Number one, that's here, the function. Okay. And number two, their density decreases. And so because you have less mitochondria, you will use less glucose. And that's why in the long term, you want to fix that, because if you fix your mitochondria, you're going to be able to increase your glucose utilization. And if the glucose is being used, in your muscles, in other organs, where is this not going to be? In the bloodstream. Okay, makes sense? So when you do that, you're going to get more energy, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys, don't sleep well, or you feel lethargic, or you feel like demotivated and all these other things. That's because you have an energy problem. And that is the cause of this, the mitochondria. Okay, so how do we fix so mitochondria? We fix it with diet and exercise, both together. So something I did not say here is like, if you want to break insulin resistance, it's just diet. Okay, we don't even have to exercise. It's just going to be diet. So we will do that first, the diet, to break that resistance, and then over time you have to do some of that diet and exercise together to boost that mitochondrial function. And when I say diet, guys, I'm not talking about taking supplements. Okay, you cannot eat crap for like 10 or 20 years and then expect that supplements are going to do the trick. Okay, and it's the same thing with cinnamon. It's the same thing with like a CMOS or all the other BS that I see online that people are trying to sell you. Okay, like, come back to the basics: diet and exercise. There's nothing else. Okay, this is gonna cover 95% of it. Okay, so once you do that, your metabolism will regain a lot of flexibility. So your liver is going to be very sensitive. So when you eat glucose, it's going to store it. When you exercise, it's going to release it. Okay, and then over time, it will produce energy for you. It will use that glucose properly. That's basically these are the two biggest fundamentals to understand about what we're doing. Okay, now let me zoom out again. I want to talk to you about the last fundamental. So these, I'm sure you know about the metaphor where the guy talks about, oh, there's a bucket, and then in the bucket you start by putting the big rocks, and then the small rocks, and then the sand, right? So what I want you to understand is that the big rocks here is food. Okay, nothing else, food. So don't worry too much about anything else. Just focus on your food. Food is going to be 80% of your results. Okay, and this is why, I was able to break my insulin resistance back then with food only. I lost like 34 pounds without exercising. I promise you. Like, once you understand how it works, this is how it works. Okay, so food, number one, forget about everything else. Once food is good, the next thing on the list is going to be, of course, exercising. Okay, exercising is going to be 15% of your results. Okay, then on top of it, and I know this is going to affect a lot of you guys. It's going to be sleep. Okay, and then it's going to be stress, and both of them are like very connected, because if you're stressed, you don't sleep properly, and if you don't sleep properly, you're going to be stressed very easily during the day. Okay, so those are connected, and so the whole thing here is like 15% of the equation. Okay, that is how it works, guys. Like that's why if you have diabetes and all you worried about is like, oh, I'm too stressed, too stressed, too stressed. Yes, the stress has an impact, but first is food. It doesn't matter what, it's going to be food always. Okay, and then the last thing that we want to worry about is going to be supplements. It's going to be medication, and all the grandma, I call them grandma's tricks. You put the hot water with lemon and cinnamon and stuff like that. Okay, like I don't do any of that. I don't do medication. I'm never gonna prescribe you any medication. I cannot do it anyway. uh, we may, at the end of the program, we may discuss supplements that may make sense to you, but I don't do any of that. Okay, because this is not what gets the results. What gets the results is that the food, 80%. So we spend a lot of time here, and then here, sleep, stress, exercise, we spend a lot of time here. All right, very important. This is no BS, guys. Okay, these are the fundamentals. This is what you have to understand. These guys here, Mike, Andrew, Adrian, Manuel, all these guys, they lost the weight, they got the A1C down, they got off the medication because they understand these things, the fundamentals. All right, now this is step one. You have to learn. Once you know the basics and you're not confused anymore by all the BS online, and you know, okay, this is exactly what I have to do, you can make abstraction of all the other information and focus exactly on what you have to do. Okay, so that's the science, what I just gave you. Now, once you know the science, you have to make it work for you. Once you get the science, you have to make it work for you. Okay, that's why the second step is to customize. Is to What happened here? Is to customize your health plan. Okay, because what I do works for me, and what this guy does works for him, and everybody is different. Okay, so the biggest thing here that I want you to understand is that if you are someone who is like very healthy, for example, uh, you eat well, you have a low body fat, you exercise and all these other things, but you still have like, let's say, cholesterol problems, you have maybe a high A1C, maybe you're going to be right here on the scale. Okay. If I give you an example, like for example, this guy, DJ here, he ate healthier than me when I joined the program. Okay. So if you're like this guy, you're going to be up there on the scale, and you can understand that if someone else is coming into the program and they're like not doing anything, they're like, I don't know, 100 pounds overweight, and things like that, you can understand that what these guys need to do, like their program, is going to be much different than this guy right here. Okay, that's why when you go out there and you ask, what's your program, what's your program, what's your program, it's not about your program, it's about yours, your program. It has to be made for you, customized. Okay, because you're different. Okay, that's what I'm trying to explain here is everyone is different. And then if you're 75 pound overweight, and or you're like skinny diabetic, the plan is not going to be the same. It's just the way it is, and that's why most advice online doesn't work, because it's like generic standard stuff, and they consider that it applies to everyone. It doesn't. Okay, and then if you've been just diagnosed, and maybe you're like in pre-diabetic, or you're like type 2 but just diagnosed, you're fresh, right? It's not going to be the same as if you've been dealing with this for 25 years. Okay, so here I give you another example. Mike here, it's been 25 years. 25 years. It's not the same. Okay, um, so something else, your diet is also going to have an impact on that, your type of diet. So I have some clients, Indians. Some of them are vegetarian, some of them are like non-vegetarian, they eat like eggs and chicken. I have some clients in Texas, a lot of Mexican. Okay, and then I have some American. I even have like some guys in Europe. So everyone has a different diet, and because of that, I cannot just tell you, hey, just eat this. You're not going to do it. Okay, so it has to be customized on you. And then, are you eating out? Are you eating at home? Or do you eat at work in the cafeteria? Okay, so these are all the things that you have to understand. So the first step of customizing your health plan is to understand, where are you? I need to know, where are you? And to do that, you're gonna take a lot of pictures of what you do, and you're gonna send it to me. I get a ton of pictures every day. Okay, and I want to see, okay, where is this guy at? How much does he eat? What does he eat? How often? And all these things. Okay, so that's like a nutritional audit. And then we do the same thing for exercising. Like, how do you exercise? How much? How often? Do you like it? Do you don't like it? At home, at the gym? We have to understand where you at on that scale. Okay, and then once I know where you are, it's much easier for me to take you from here to here. Okay, but I cannot give you a plan, the same plan as this guy who wants to go from here to here. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so if you're here, I'm going to customize a plan that's going to help you go right there, and then from there, right here, and then over time you're going to get there. And this is how your health improves. This is how you become like super healthy, and all these other things. Okay, so that's basically the first step. I need to understand where you're at. The second thing is, once I know where you're at, we have together to customize the plan. Like, okay, this is the science, this is where you're at. What can we do? Where is the happy medium between the pure science and where you're at? What is the happy medium that's going to work for you, that you feel you're going to be able to sustain, that you feel you're going to feel good about you, that you feel you can make the first step? Okay, so that's basically like the first thing that we do is we customize a plan that works for you on both the diet and the exercising. Now, a lot of people tell me, oh, what is this about? Is this like a keto? Is it like a carnivore? Is it fasting? Is it like paleo? Is it like vegan, plant-based, all these other things? This is a functional diet. Okay, I can show you why keto and carnivore works. I can show you why paleo works. I can show you all of these, why they work. Why? Because I'm going to show you the science. Once you understand the science, it's going to be easy for you to understand why all these diets work. And so that's why we're going to go through a functional diet to find what's going to work for you based on the fundamentals. That's it. There's nothing else. Like, it's not rocket science. And then, of course, yeah, eating avocado is always going to be better than eating, like a burger. It is what it is. Like, I don't make the rules. Like, this is like a fact. Okay. Now, at the end of the day, you still have to find what's going to work for you. And that's why we do a functional diet. Okay. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is flexible exercising. Flexible because, you know what? Like I said, exercising is going to be less than 15% of your results. So even if you tell me, oh man, I don't have access to a gym, or I don't like to exercise, I'm not telling you that you don't have to exercise. You want to exercise. We are humans. We're meant to move for our heart, for our muscle mass and everything. But we have to make it flexible for you, something that's going to work for you. And the same thing is we have to see where are you at. Like, are you exercising right now? Yes or no? No, so you're at the bottom. Are you are you like doing maybe like 3 times a week or 4 times a week? Then you're at the top. And then what do we need to do to go to the next level? That's the biggest thing that you have to understand. Okay, so that's basically what we do. We create a custom program together for food and fitness. Once this is in place, all we have to do is to track your progress and then make some adjustments. So for some people, like for most people, it's going to be easy and you're going to start losing weight right away. So for weight loss, you can do like 1 to 2 pounds a week. You can do less, you can do more, but then it's going to become like on the extremes. Like too slow, you're not going to be happy, and then too fast, you're going to feel weird. So it depends. Everybody's different, but everybody loses weight. For some of you guys, though, it's going to be like this one. This was Christopher. So Christopher, it took us 1 month to break the resistance to insulin and to start the weight loss, because it's been many, many years and his body just was like very hard to change. So we made it. It was good, right? But it took us like some time. And I know online, you see a lot of ads, a lot of gurus, and everybody's only showing you like the good results. Okay, I show you the bad stuff too. So this guy, yeah, it took us 1 month. So if you're someone who is overweight and you're worried that you cannot break the plateau, yeah, it's not easy. So I can help you to do that. Um, but sometimes it takes some time. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, for most people, like it works perfectly. This guy too also was hard for him to break that resistance. But once we got it done, okay, he just lost weight all the way down. It was very easy. Okay. We put his body into like a fat burning machine. Okay, we can do the same together. So that's for weight loss. Now, as far as like A1C and medication, it's gonna vary based on you. It's gonna vary based on your history. It's gonna vary based on like how well you do the plan that we established together. It's gonna depend on like many things. So for example, Manuel, he's got like very good results. I'm not saying everybody's gonna do that, but this guy, he lost 51 pounds in like 4 months. It's very, very fast. His A1C went from like 7.6 to 5.4. He got off the diabetes and the blood pressure medication. Okay. DJ, we spoke about it earlier. This guy is healthy, right? He came to me. He was healthier than me. And we went from like 6.8 to 5.3 A1C in 4 months. And that was without medication. Um, let's see. I have here, this is Ben. He's a builder and business owner in Maryland. He went from A1C 10.9 to 7.2 in like 90 days. Okay. Here is Mike. So Mike is a weird example because he's been type 2 diabetes for like 20 plus years, and he was able to lose almost 40 pounds, get off insulin, get off Glyburide in like less than 8 weeks, I believe. So that was very fast for him. This is like very fast, just so you know, but that's good. And then we have here, this is Terry, who basically he lowered a little bit his A1C. He lost like 20 pounds, the lowest in 20 years. But the good thing is his cholesterol came back to normal. So I'm not going to talk about it now, but cholesterol is basically caused by insulin resistance, not what you eat, just so you know. Okay. This guy, in like just like 2 or 3 weeks, I believe, he went from like blood sugar 160 to 88 after 7 years of being diabetics. I was very happy to see that. This is Andrew here, who completely changed his blood work, A1C 6.1 with metformin to 5.8 without metformin. He's still working on that. This is Leong here. In 4 months, he did A1C 12 to 6.8, off a few pounds, and then off insulin and stuff like that. Okay, so I've got some people also very like overweight and bringing the A1C down with just like a few pounds. Okay, so that can happen too. What else do I have here? This guy went from like blood sugar 135 to 93 in 3 weeks, lowest in 17 years. Okay, so these of course are like great results, right? So yeah, so that's the two steps. The first two steps: learn the fundamentals and then customize something that's gonna work for you. Okay, and that's where I help you the most. The last piece of the puzzle for you is you have to fix discipline and consistency once and for all. And I know like a lot of you guys are struggling with like being disciplined and being consistent. And I'm gonna make it very short. Like, if you understand what I'm about to tell you, you will never ever have to worry about it anymore. Okay? Never ever. Okay? So discipline and consistency, and that's going to be the end after that. Discipline and consistency, this is not something you should chase. You should not have this as a goal. Okay? Do not like, do not try to be disciplined. Do not try to be consistent. Why? Because if it's your expectation, as soon as you do not meet that expectation, you're going to feel like shit, because oh man, I told you you're not disciplined, I told you you're not consistent, and all this negative self-talk is gonna happen in your head. Okay, so don't chase discipline and consistency. Forget about it. I'm not gonna help you try to do that. Instead, what I'm gonna help you do is to change who you are, your identity, the way you think and the way you think about yourself. Okay, once you understand that, once you fix your identity, who you are, as a result, you will get discipline. As a consequence, you will get consistency. Okay, so I give you an example. I had a client, a new guy started like last week. Okay, on the call he came and he said, "Oh, I have all these problems. I'm a foodie. I'm a foodie." Okay, identity. That's who he thinks. That's who he thinks he is. Okay, I'm a foodie. It's like me. I'm French. It's like you, like you're XYZ. I don't know. Whatever you think you are. He's a foodie. That's his identity. And then later in the call, he said, "Oh, I have a problem." He's like, "I eat out a lot. I eat out a lot." Okay. And then he told me, "Oh man, I just want you to help me be more consistent. If you can help me be more consistent, then it's like perfect. I'm very happy." And I said, "Well, dude, you don't have a consistency problem." Like, how do you mean? It's like, no, you don't have a consistency problem because you eat out on a consistent basis. You're very disciplined at eating out. And he's laughing. I was like, yeah, don't laugh. It's true. You are very consistent at it. And the reason why is because this is your identity. You are a foodie. So, of course, you will act accordingly. You're going to eat out a lot. Okay, so that's why like discipline, he doesn't wake up in the morning saying, "Oh, I have to be disciplined at eating out at the restaurant." He doesn't say that. He wakes up in the morning and he thinks, "Oh, I'm a foodie, so I'm going to go to the restaurant." So the biggest thing about how to fix this once and for all is for us to understand what is the type of identity that we need to create. Who do you want to become? To become that, to be that guy with low A1C? Who do you want to become to be that healthy guy with high energy? Who do you want to become to be there for your kids and grandkids, to walk them down the aisle when they get married, to go to their graduation party? Who do you want to become? And once you become that person, it's going to be much easier for you to do the things that you know and would like to do, like eating healthy, like exercising. And then it's going to be very like natural for you to be disciplined and consistent. Okay, that's it. Like there's nothing else. Okay, and so I haven't talked about this, but so very quickly, another thing about being consistent. When, like, if you're someone who has tried many times to try a diet and you fall off the diet, you try something else, and you basically don't have the consistency. The problem that you have is that you have too high of expectations. You expect things to be perfect all the time. Okay, and as soon as you cannot meet that expectation, the reality is different from what you expect, and that gap creates stress. And because you feel stress, you have like bad talk, negative thinking, and all these other things going on. And when this happens, it's impossible for you to want to eat healthy. It's impossible for you to keep doing it. Okay, so you just have to know that sometimes, yeah, work is going to be busy. Sometimes you're going to have a birthday. Sometimes you're going to have to go to a party. Sometimes it's going to be Thanksgiving. Sometimes it's going to be plenty of other things. So I'm going to help you reduce that expectation so that you can feel less stress, keep more momentum, and naturally be consistent and not have to worry about your health anymore. Because the more you worry about your health, like, what kind of life is this, right? Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so if you want the peace of mind, if you want to be there for for your people, for your family, and be this healthy guy and live a long life, and feel all this happiness, you have to understand these things. Like, this is like, it took me 10 years to understand that. I'm not biasing you. It took me 10 years and all these books here to understand that. Okay, and I've learned it because I'm sober. I've struggled with alcohol for 10 years. I was taking medication too, and I fixed that with this identity. That's it. And I fixed it. And now this is what I do with my time. I help people to do the same thing. Okay. So that's it. Like, I have nothing else. Thank you for watching. Like, um, if you want these things, I'm telling you, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to help you as much as I can. And your life is never going to be the same. Okay. I hope to talk to you soon, maybe. And we can go from there. Thank you.